It is 1 o'clock on the West Coast. It is HugNation time all over the world. If you're watching on archive, then it is HugNation time in your now. HugNation exists in the eternal now. It is that moment when the ego dissolves, we become we join the infinite. But we'll get to that. Let's take a moment. Let go of the day behind us. Let go of the day in front of us, the to-do lists, the responsibilities, and just surrender to this moment. If you can, place your feet on the ground, ground them, feel the roots growing into it. Feel your energy flowing from your feet up through your body, through the top of your head. Be aware of any sensations and sounds around you. Be grateful for all of those sensations and sounds. How much more awesome those are than a vacuum. Remember to be grateful. Before all things, gratitude. Thank you, universe, for all of our blessings. Help us remember to see those gifts, to focus on those gifts, and to be vessels of love as we walk through the world. Amen. Welcome! Oh my goodness, I have had quite a weekend. So much so that I don't know if I can keep on track or keep my head straight. I will do my best. Always do your best, says Don Ruiz. Alright, so I'm going to apologize in advance in case I'm off track. I went yesterday afternoon, left the Lightning in a Bottle Festival. The Hugmobile broke down on the way, which it's so awesome to be with Dimitri during times of conflict or times of struggle, quote unquote, or challenge, because he is, both of us have been working on these awarenesses, and one of those is, I posted something last night, a picture of the Hugmobile being towed or pulled onto the tow truck. First of all, it'll take like 2 hours for the tow truck to come because it needs a special RV tow truck. And then getting an RV onto a tow truck is, a maybe an hour plus project. And then we had it towed 55 miles home because I have AAA Premier service. Don't be frontin', I'm a member. And, but the great thing was, it never felt like, we were always like, this is part of the adventure. This is part of the journey. This is all part of it. It wasn't like, God damn it. None of us ever got frustrated. It was like, oh, it's making a weird sound. It stopped in the middle of the road. Let's see if I can get it into the parking lot. Oh. All right, I guess we call AAA. Hey, look at that. There happens to be a taco stand over there. We can eat while we're waiting. Hey, look at this adventure. Whee! It all worked out. Shocker, huh? It always works out. Point being, if there is one, besides that it always works out and everything's awesome, that I didn't get in until well past midnight, 1 in the morning or something like that, and then had to wake up early to... Anyway, the point is, I'm rocking a minimal amount of sleep after a incredibly active and minimal sleep weekend, so I am living on a diet heavy in love and good vibrations. I'm a loveitarian. I don't eat food. I just ingest love. Not in the vampire way, not blood, just love. All right. So, later I'll talk a little bit about the weekend and all the things, or many of the things that happened and were exciting and inspiring about it. But I just want to start with the traditional belief buffet idea of the week, which is something that really was coming up over and over again as I was at this festival and seeing so many artistic people doing artistic things and seeing it was an incredible gathering of community. But the idea that started before this weekend but really started to gel this weekend was that of a economic spiritual funnel. And I haven't written this all out yet, so I'm going to try to form it as I go, and maybe the terminology and stuff will make sense, so eventually it'll get going. And eventually make it as a story into my new book, But we'll talk about that later. So in this funnel concept, on the thick, massive thick edge of the funnel, the fat edge, is the traditional status quo economic system. Commerce, production, all, everything that we know traditionally as you make goods, you sell goods, you services, that stuff. All the way on the opposite side of the funnel is being totally in alignment, self-sustaining, eco-conscious. You have no waste. You live as monkish as possible, or that's the total end of the funnel. Purely living in alignment, in love, and almost as any other creature on the planet, not as a human being who consumes and creates and destroys and that kind of stuff. So the part I was struggling was, as I feel myself going farther down the funnel from the commerce more and more towards in alignment, I was getting more and more concerned about, well, how am I going to get resources that I need? I have this general idea that it'll all work out because I have faith. It'll all work out because I just believe that things provide. But I didn't quite believe how, or know how, or really understand how. And so then I started seeing this funnel. And I know that personally, I have a budget a monthly budget that I put aside for helping myself get farther along the funnel. So like life coaching or festivals or things like that. Maybe art materials. Things that either I pay people or to do things that kind of pull me down the funnel, help me down the funnel. And so I started seeing this as a whole separate kind of, it's like a perpendicular economic system. So you have the whole normal economic system, 9-to-5 job stuff, but then once you get kind of a little crack off the path a little bit, then you happily spend some of your resources to people who can help you, pull you along. That's why you pay for a yoga class. That's why you pay for therapy. That's why you pay for life coaching. That's why you pay for all of these things that help open you, that help pull you towards who your true self is. And I guess I had a kind of a limited idea of what that meant. And maybe I still do, but simply seeing this concept makes me believe, wait a minute, this is not a mystery, this is a massively sustainable system, because it's going to be a long time before the fat side of the funnel actually gets reduced or doesn't exist. So there is a massive potential of resources that really want to be funneled towards this way. And so if you can find some way, and I believe that the closer you go into alignment, it's inevitable that you find some way, you can receive the resources that you need from the people who you're aiding. Or, now on the other hand, maybe you become someone who is totally self-sufficient. If you can live on a farm and you don't need that at all, then you're just floating. You don't even, that's like a whole separate, perpendicular. It's been a while since I've had geometry. But I found this to be, it twisted something in my head, where I went from having I believe that everything's going to work out, so something will happen, to, wait a minute, this is a system that makes sense. Not only does it make sense, but it's something that I have contributed to for years. Now I'm just in a different place in it, and so I want to I need to find the way that I can pull people along, or push people. No reason to say that you have to be farther along than them to help to push along. So, while I'm being open to everything, one of those ways that may happen is writing. I just got in the mail my first draft of my book. Look at that. Look at that. It even looks official, doesn't it? Okay, the truth is, it is just a rough draft. It is. I didn't proof it very much. I just kind of threw it together to kind of get it in my hands as a personal motivating factor. But it goes together with this concept of like how I think it's one of those tools that can pull people along, and myself even. As I read things that I wrote and don't know where it came from inside me, it pulls me through, pulls me farther. Or as I get kind of, as the economic system pulls me back, it gives me the reminders to go where I need to go. Along those lines of writing things and not knowing where they came, I had an awesome experience this weekend. I did a HugNation on Friday at 6 o'clock at Lightning in a Bottle. And one of the things that I wanted to do, I did some storytelling. What time is it here? Well, one of the things that I was working on lately I've been trying to work on, after I did the talk at the art gallery, I realized that in this circumstance here, when we're all together, and I know that everyone, we kind of have a family in this chat room, and so I feel comfortable. I feel like you trust me, and so I can take my time a little bit with telling stories or getting to the point or rambling and just trusting that we'll get to where we need to go, or if I don't, you'll forgive me. But in a new scenario, and especially in a live scenario, when I don't have as much experience with working with a live audience, I feel this pressure to entertain quickly. And from that place of, I hope they like me, I lose a lot of, I think, why people might like me, which is trying to be present and in integrity and in love. That same thing happens when I see pretty girls sometimes, but that's another story. So what I've been trying to focus on since that gallery opening is not going to that place of make them like me quickly, but just slowing down, being present, and trying to do what I do here. So on Friday, I had a little birthday HugNation and took my time and told some stories and cried, and then read the I Believe story that I wrote a couple weeks ago. Not story, but just principles that I believe in. And it was really, really powerful for me. I felt really, it was like a peak experience for me. A neat thing happened when I reread the I Believe story right beforehand, just to kind of, so that I could remember what it was. I didn't remember it at all. Here was this, 2-page document of everything, my core beliefs, and I had most of it I had no memory of. I had no memory of writing it, and yet as I read every line, it was like, yes, 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 which was yet another reminder to me that I'm getting closer and closer in the funnel of surrendering, of allowing, of being of service, and getting more and more aware that I'm in service to my talents or gifts, and one of those gifts is in communicating. And so when I can surrender my gift to a higher energy, I think that's when these writing like this comes out, sometimes speaking like this comes out, and it becomes I become a tool of the universe. A tool of the universe that's helping people along the funnel, as are we all in some way or another. Well, not all, but I think all who would spend even 30 seconds listening to this broadcast. So if you are listening to this, thank you for joining me in the funnel. May we continue to help each other along in love resources, in financial resources, in energy, in trust, in faith.
You only live once. Enjoy the color.